Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Justin Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch.
Today is Thought Thursday. We're going to talk about the power of hope, so important for us as we come together as a community each day to know the truth, support one another, and definitely have way more than hope. Have ecstasy in life.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's
Hope
do
floats.
it.
Hope heals.
Because you know I'm El Dorado. I'm so excited. That was Shaylin at the top of the show. She was our featured guest here on the new Focus show, On That Note, hosted by Ms. Elizabeth like yesterday. So it was exciting to play her head at the top of the show.
Yes, it is. And we love Elizabeth.
Yeah, special shout out to her. We're so excited to welcome to the show our special guest back in the studio. Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning. We have Miss Ari Rose in the house. She's going to help me fight that funk this morning and hashtag slip and slay, right?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, LA.
Good morning. So Ari, I'm wondering, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
First, I wake up before I even grab my cell phone. I meditate. I do my prayer. I set the tone for the day. And then I engage with society.
It's so important to set your intention before you do that, or society will take you over. Right?
Exactly. You got to quiet the noise out. Quiet the noise out first.
Yeah, your day will run you over. We've got Matt Miller. He is the Miller Healer in the house. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Look at all that fun stuff you brought today.
Yeah, it's all fun.
I'm about to put some CBD in my coffee. Now, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
My morning routine is literally roll out of bed and get into nature first thing with my dog and pretty much just unplug and get ready for the day every single day.
Yeah. So the CBD in the coffee, would that like turn you up and turn you down? How does that work?
It would just help you, basically.
We can use all the help we can get. Love
Okay,
that.
yeah, I can't wait. We're going to have to dose me up when we get back there in the studio.
you.
Good morning, Dr. Phil is in the house. We met yesterday
Thank
at
you.
the Digital Hollywood Experience. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm so well, thank you. So I'm always curious to know how a doctor starts his day. What's your morning routine?
I don't know if you should use doctors as the premier example of how to start your day because we don't always do everything we preach. So I'm really bad at waking up and pulling up the phone first thing and checking on the business and all that stuff and social media and whatnot. So I'm not a good example of that. Especially when I have the kids, it's usually get up and go, get the kids ready. That's part of it.
But you're honest.
Yeah,
we love
right?
honest
Have to be.
doctors. Absolutely.
That's a good sign of a good doctor.
It is. Transparency.
Oh, and we've got our favorite cheerleader in the house. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning.
So how do you start your day?
Oh my goddess, my morning is my favorite part of my day. Before my feet even hit the floor, I declare out loud, today's gonna be one of the best days of my life. And that moves into, I'm not gonna lie, about an hour to 2 hour morning ritual, including meditation, affirmations, Kundalini yoga, breath work, scanning my essential oils, drinking all the tonics. Morning ritual is my favorite thing, that's why I teach it. So
How long does your morning ritual take?
as long as I wanted to.
I was breathing. I'm like 2 hours later.
Cheer work is hard work.
That's right.
Oh, that sounds incredible. I think I need to wake up earlier so I can incorporate some of those into my morning routine. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I'm excited to talk to you more
Thank
later
you.
in the show and get that CBD in my coffee.
Oh,
If you
love
get up
Amber.
any earlier, Jazz, you won't sleep at all, right?
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm just going to throw that idea out. Yeah, I don't
That's
accept
not
that
gonna
challenge.
You can do it in the evening instead of the morning.
Right, exactly.
We want to give a special shout out to our good friend Amanda Russell. She's back in Hollywood. She's speaking at Digital Hollywood today. It's a yearly media summit where some of the top people in digital media, Digital Hollywood, if you will, come together and share their experience and their expertise. If you're a member of SAG, that's the Screen Actors Guild, you can go on. They're actually giving free tickets away if you are a union actor. So be sure to check that out because there's a wealth of insight and knowledge that she'll be sharing later today.
Love Amanda.
Love Amanda. So happy you're back in Hollywood.
Sure are.
We need you around here. Some balance.
Love her energy.
I
Yeah.
know. So what's going on, you guys? Give us the update, the check-in. We don't talk about anything. Every time we come in the morning, we go Regis, which means filming Regis, and it means we don't say anything off camera about what happens, so that we have an authentic conversation here in the morning,
that was a little secret sauce,
right?
Huh?
Secret sauce.
Yes, yeah. How was your night, Jez?
It was great. Actually, I was over at the Skirball Center for the first day of Digital Hollywood, where I met our guest today, Dr. Phil, and really had an opportunity to connect with some of the people in that community. I was so wildly inspired, and I went for a great dinner in Encino at this community restaurant that I love, Davenport's, family-owned, Carl and Chef Nigel, and ran into some friends, and it's just so incredible when you really have an opportunity to be present to the people around you. I love sitting at the bar. Next thing you know, you're best friends with the people sitting next to you, and hey, I know who you know, and you're really connecting. I think that's just a really important thing, especially in Los Angeles, because so many times you can feel isolated in this town. And if you just open yourself up to really connect with the people around you, they really do want to support you and lift you up. And it really is unlike any other place in the world when you can really feel La La Land.
It's so true. Have you always been a connector, Jez?
Always.
Even as a little girl?
Yeah, I was a floater, I was a connector, but in LA, I can do it on like this magical.
Yeah,
Right.
you're a super connector. I swear you're a super connector.
Super connector. Ran into one of our guests, Tess Cacciatore, yesterday at Digital Media as she wrote that book, From Homeless to the White House, and that was incredible. She was speaking, speaking there as well.
Oh, good.
How was your night?
I had a great night. I'm so excited because it's official. We're not going to launch it yet where people can buy tickets yet, but we are officially having our retreat in Bali, which is the 19th. It's March 19th through 29th. So I'll be leading a 10-day retreat in Bali, which is so exciting.
That's so exciting.
So
Badass
exciting.
Magazine is they're doing all the marketing, sponsoring everything, and then we have a day of transformation in LA, which will be December 8th. So we're not launching it yet. You can't get tickets yet, but it will be hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We'll be launching that. So very, very excited about that.
So, first of all, it's Bali.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's you. Third of all, what can people expect to get out of the retreat?
It's going to be a full, the day retreat is going to be all about the 4 areas of your life. It's going to be transformation in your, money, in your relationships, in your health, and your creative expression. So a full day of really looking at your whole life, breaking through the barriers around that. Bring your tissues, we expect tears. And then Bali is going to be that, but on steroids, and we're also going to get into actually specifically having them create their life purpose statement.
Wow.
So they'll walk away with clarity in the 4 areas of their life, have somewhat of a, inspired plan around all of that, and more healing and transformation than anything.
It's like an entire life makeover.
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
We need that, right? But so this morning, so I'm all on cloud 9. I'm feeling so great. I just had a phenomenal day yesterday, and I wake up and I'm thinking, I don't just I play this little game in the morning where I go, if you had a magic wand, what would you have happen today? And I was like, I have a magic wand, So I'm in the kitchen. Meanwhile, I look over and the toaster's on fire, the smoke's coming up, the alarm's about to go off, and I'm thinking, okay, universe, I'll humble myself down. I'm not all that in a bag of chips, So we remember, we're still human. We're still here.
It's true. One of my favorite, so of course we talk about Abraham Hicks a lot. One of my favorite Abraham Hicks quotes, as they say, we eventually want you all to get to a place where you're manifesting everything you ever want in your life, and then we'll eventually have de-manifestation workshops. Maybe you're there.
I am, completely. It's always a dance being I'm all that, and I'm still human. Cool. Experience myself as a master of limitation.
It's one of the things you learn about writing a book too, right, or doing a show or anything. Anything that you claim to be, life calls you forth to live up to it more fully than ever.
For sure.
I remember when I wrote Happiness from the Inside Out, suddenly it was very difficult for me to even have a moment where I was a little bit sad, because people were like, well, you're a happiness coach, man. What's wrong with you?
That sucks. I'm sorry about that. I can just blame it on Awakening. My book's Awakening. I'm still awakening.
It's a process.
Right? You're I gotta be happy all the time. No,
it's a process.
I'm so glad it's your book.
It does make you double down though on that commitment. Had I not done that, and had I not made it public, I wouldn't have committed probably as deeply as I have. So,
So are you going to change the sequel title?
Am I going to change? Well, it's a great question. So the sequel title. Well, so I've got these 4 other ones that I'm working on, right? So Success, Joy, and Bliss, and Love from the Inside Out. That's the brand Inside Out, and
man, those expectations just keep getting higher, Rob.
They do. But they're all, for me at least, it's all an opportunity to define authentic success, right? Or authentic love. Or
I love that. It's a whole series on just the words, because I love that.
Yeah.
Gotta do one on health from the inside.
Oh,
you're
man.
healthy.
We've got experts in the back there who can talk to that. Let's talk to Phil.
That's so funny. So we had a great show yesterday, right?
Yes,
yeah,
amazing show.
Really
Let's take a look at the rewind. it's not necessarily focusing on the money, it's focusing on the why you're having that money. What are you doing with it? What's the lifestyle? How are you giving back? Or what are you creating in your business? I think the focus is more on that than the actual money exchange. I mean, yeah, of course.
You know, it's just positivity. I was just raised that way. My family's very supportive. And, you know, anytime I would call my mom or my dad, you know, saying, oh, what am I going to do? You know, this happened. You know, they're just like, Anna Marie, this is what you need to do. You've wanted to do this now for 2 years. So just go for it.
So that's actually what the book aims to sort of break, is this imaginary wall between, you know, who you are as a persona and a personality and being able to share vulnerably with the world, because that's what helped me personally while I was starting out.
The only advice I could say is don't come here and expect to be a big fish. You're going to be a very little fish. Make your fish grow where you are and then bring that fish here.
I firmly believe that language is life. And what you say, you create. It's the power of the spoken word. And what's something that's really important to me and to teach my clients and when I go and speak at corporations is that you know, it all begins with what you say. So you have inspired thought and you take committed action. And part of taking committed action is the words that you use.
That was a great show, all about women's empowerment on Wealth Wednesday. Amazing, so many powerhouses.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible how blessed we are with the guests that we get.
Absolutely, we're wealthy in our social capital. Our network is our net worth, and it was so inspiring. I really loved the conversation with Alicia Dunhams and about her book, and really changing the verbiage in your mindset and what you're saying. Instead of saying I have to do something, I get to do something, and that was so powerful. It really resonated with me, and I carried that throughout my day when I was having these conversations with myself and the community. I really tried to consciously reframed my words, and it was really interesting.
Yeah, it's incredible how words can trigger people, or how words can encourage people or persuade people. And you know, language, and she made a great point, language doesn't just describe the world, it actually creates the world.
For sure,
right?
Absolutely.
And what a light was Patrika Darby.
Oh my gosh, she's hilarious too.
I know, I just want to
love you.
Oh, I just want to have tea with her every day. Laugh.
You said she feels like family, right, Jess?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
She feels like family, and I got to go into those Affaro handbags. I'm obsessed. Anti-theft, 100% Italian leather.
Yeah.
Luxury at its finest, and you can't take it from
And
me.
they have cuff lanes.
Yeah, right to my wrist.
To your arm, so you can swing your purse around if you get a little crazy, you know?
And I was so inspired by the fashionista herself, Erica de la Cruz. I mean, her story was so powerful, and she was really opened up. Her book, Fashionistas, has some of the most inspirational stories from other successful women, and I love that she really gave them a place to open up and be real, raw, authentic in a way that they can't do on their social media channels.
Oh my gosh,
So
just brilliant. And she embodies passion. I mean, are you kidding? She is just full
Love
of
her
it.
story. So today is Thought Thursday. Let's get into it for a moment. We want to really just acknowledge people who are struggling, people who might feel hopeless or sad or depressed. We know it's a big thing, especially in the world. We have a lot of depression. In fact, 14.8 million Americans deal with depression, and that's depression. So we know that's like an extreme, right? So imagine how many millions of people deal with sadness and feeling lonely and feeling separated and feeling all these things. And so we want to just acknowledge that and know that there's a power of hope that is so important for people to feel hopeful. And just discussing that from a faith perspective, that's really what faith is. Faith is knowing that whatever we are desiring, whatever is there, that there's a faith knowing that that the world and the universe is working for us, not against us. That no matter what we're going through, whatever hard times, there's a lesson and a blessing to go through that. There's a growth there to have. But we still acknowledge, because I know I personally have gone through many times in my life where I've felt sad. I don't know if I've gone into a true depression. I feel like I've gone into depression. I've never been where I can't get out of bed for weeks, so I'm not sure how far my depression went, but I've questioned life. I've questioned things, so I guess I would definitely consider that a depression. And I think that you need to seek help for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly have gone beyond that, right? And looking back now, I realize it was the greatest blessing in my life, without question. It pointed to my purpose in life. And you know, it is true, you know, we can live really weeks without food, you can live days without water, you can live a few moments or minutes without air, but you can't even live one moment without hope.
Right.
You know, so it's an important thing to remember. And there are always great reasons to have hope. But sometimes you need a little encouragement, a lot of social support.
I know.
It's a really interesting conversation I've been having with people in my life. The concept of hope and the concept of faith, and especially those who consider themselves realists, right? Those are the hardest people to convince to believe in themselves, to have hope. They can see it and recognize it in other things, but those people who consider themselves a realist, they say, oh, well, you know, my current circumstance is a reflection of my future, or the best way for me to predict the future is my past. And it's so sad because I don't know if you can ever really flip that switch for them to embrace or embody that light and that hope.
Great point. That's the reason that I pursued science so strongly, because I was, in some ways, a realist. I considered myself a realist. I'm like, what am I going to believe in? Why should I believe? And then science gave me hope and gave me belief because I saw the empirical data that basically said optimists do better in all areas of their life. And optimists, you can pretty much predict, or you can first of all predict every presidential election based on optimism alone, which is mind-blowing. But you can also sort of predict individual and team sport outcomes based on optimism. But really, optimism improves your life in every single way, financially, relationally, physically, every way. So once I saw that science, I was able to have a little bit more hope, a little bit more belief, and then it sort of grew from there.
Same with the observer effect. I was like blown away when I first learned of the where we literally create things into particles or waves by just the observer. And you know, it's this a phenomenon. So if we're that powerful, imagine how powerful we are with our faith, with our belief that it's going to happen. You know,
Absolutely.
if we truly believe that and observe the potential in things.
Absolutely, and you make a great point, Erin, and it sort of ties nicely into Jeslin's point, which is that I think at the end of the day, faith, hope and belief, and then faith, and then knowing is experiential, right? And so the deeper it's grounded in real experience, the more powerful it will be, and the more unshakable and unmovable and unconditional it is, right? So the question is, how can you experience something that provides you or deepens the faith that you have?
But how is that for you? Because like when you're sad and you're depressed and you're in that moment, like I don't care what scientific data anyone tells me, I don't care what faith, it's like there's a place that you just go to that for me, I had to go there to just surrender and then allow the miracles to happen. So it's like,
absolutely,
you know, what was that like for you?
It's such a great question, and it is all about surrender. It was precisely that. It was coming to, for me, the challenge was everything that I thought I could or wanted to accomplish in life. In some ways, I'd accomplished like a glimpse of it, but I realized it wasn't giving me any satisfaction. And I realized that at some point, I was going to die, everybody around me was going to die. That was deeply depressing for me. As I surrendered to that, though, and surrendered deeply enough, I found that on the other side of that wall was a deeper kind of peace and love and happiness. So it's all about surrender. It's surrendering what's happening out here, but more importantly, it's surrendering what's happening in here and what's happening here.
For sure.
When you fully surrender, your mind goes quiet. When your mind goes quiet, that's when you experience the peace and faith.
I feel so peaceful right now. But just sending love out there to people, anyone struggling today, know that please reach out. There are places that there's help, there's hotlines, and just know that there are support groups. So be true to yourself, listen to yourself, but also reach out and get help, okay?
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, let's take a break. We're going to have some amazing people today, interviews, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Packrat.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning LaLaLand.
Welcome to the very first episode of Sadie Says. I'm your host, Natalie Sadie. Welcome, Daniel Hall. First episode.
I didn't even realize it was your first episode.
Hi, welcome to Dr. Erin Show. It's been a while since we've been here, and I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about discovering your purpose and calling, and I have Elle Russ in the house. Thank you so much for coming all the way down here today.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Tara Tenner, and this is the Model Mama Show. I'm so excited about our guest today. We have Chelsea Cannell-Briggs, who this is literally a blast from the past, you guys.
It's true.
We haven't seen each other since we worked together at Fox Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I am excited and delighted because we have an amazing guest. So thank you, Janie, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm a fan of both of you.
I'm Jasmine Mollier, and this is LA Unscripted, and I'd like to welcome to my show Mr. Jacques Silverstein. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my great pleasure to be with you.
This is somebody who went from super nerd to supermodel, so I'm so excited. Let's talk to Anna.
Yes.
Anna, you were the winner of our very first Viva Glam model search.
Yeah, you guys were actually my very first photo shoot.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Reshape. I'm Allie Landry, and I am so thrilled to have our next guest. So I am so grateful that you are here with us at Reshape today.
Thank you, Allie. I'm so happy to see you. And you couldn't look more gorgeous if you tried.
Today's guest is best known for being the fitness guru on 6 seasons of The Biggest Loser. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Dolvet. Dolvet, we don't even say Quince anymore. It's just Dolvet. It's
like one name.
Dolvet.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. We have perfect lighting. We've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Hello and welcome to The Joe Show. I'm Josephine, and here on our couch today is none other than the heartthrob of Shahs of Sunset, Shervin.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ren Wood Show. I am so excited for my guest today. I have the beautiful Bianca Hayes. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca. Give me a hug.
For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We're so honored to talk with Philip Oob, who is a doctor, about hope. I'm so honored you're here to have this deep conversation.
Good show.
It's so
Thank
important
you.
in
Thank
Western
you.
medicine.
Appreciate it.
You look so put
So
together.
dapper, right?
Wow, look at this.
Always so
thing.
dapper.
I had a little help.
All the way from Austin to Los Angeles, you're here to speak at Digital Hollywood. Could you share a little bit about what you're speaking on for the summit?
So I'll be a moderator for one of the panels. The panel's on food and wellness. So the idea that food can reverse illness, food can help illness, and many times food is the cause of our illness. Eating the wrong foods is the cause of the illness. So that's mainly what my panel is going to be about. I'm part of another panel of cannabis and CBD kind of medical uses of the cannabis product.
It's so interesting though, because when you don't feel your best, if you're experiencing illness of any sort, it's hard to have hope a lot of times, hoping the healing, because it does bring you to a deep, dark place. If you're not feeling well physically, emotionally, that can be very trying.
Absolutely, and many of the medications that we give people for those illnesses often kind of take away the hope. The other thing that's kind of lost in our conventional medicine, you have an illness or a disease, so to speak, and you're given this pill, and there's no end in sight. It's just, oh, you got to take this pill the rest of your life. That in itself can feel very hopeless. So at my practice, we do a lot of functional medicine, holistic care, and many times by the time people have come to see us, they've been struggling for years. They've seen multiple doctors, they've seen multiple specialists, and they're still not getting the answers that they want, and they're still sick and taking more and more and more medications. And as they add each medication, they get sicker and sicker. So many times people leave our office already feeling better, not because we did anything magical, but for the first time in their life, they feel like they have hope.
Wow.
So just leaving the office thinking, there's a plan, there's hope here. I already feel better, and we didn't even do anything. We just smiled.
Oh, I just love this. So this is one of, it's my lifelong, I guess one of my lifelong contemplations is sort of the role that doctors have in terms of like bedside manner in encouraging hope or facilitating hope, because of course we've all heard about like the Stanford Prison Experiment and Stanley Milgram and everything that happens there in terms of authority figures and how they interact with you and how you then take that interaction to heart or not. So can you talk to us a little bit about that? Like, in addition to, of course, the smiles, you know, what do you see as the role of a doctor in encouraging or facilitating hope? Is that something that's even on the radar?
It is. Unfortunately, in the typical doctor's visit of a 10 to 15 minute visit, here's your prescription, go and fill it at the pharmacy, there's not really a lot of hope that's needed. There's not really a lot of change that's needed on the patient's part. And so really there's not much involvement in today's medical society. I want to hopefully change that paradigm. But in my practice, we're expecting people to change their entire lives. They're changing their food, they're changing their stress, they're taking supplements, they're spending more money on their health than they ever have before. And so we have to give them that hope, because they have to understand that I'm going to do all these things and I'm going to get better. So we have to believe in them many times before they believe in themselves. And luckily we have other patients that have already gone through the process, and I share their stories on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. And so that gives them hope that, okay, if so-and-so did it, then I can do it too. But you got to give people hope and change.
I'm curious though, because not all doctors have your mindset and your thinking, because a lot of it they get feedback monetarily if they just keep doing prescriptions. What is it that had you decide you wanted to take a holistic approach?
That's a long story.
That's what we want, that one right there.
So luckily, and for me, the universe kind of chose me as how I feel like, because I was a conventional medical doctor. I went through family medicine residency in South Carolina, moved to Austin, Texas, and I was a regular doctor, seeing patients, writing prescriptions. And as I started to get more and more involved in medicine by myself, I'm my own doctor now, I started realizing that the prescription model isn't always working. We're missing something. So kind of as I dug and met new people, and Austin's very granola, holistic, however you want to say it. And so as my patients started using things, they started telling me that they were using those things. And I thought, well, let me start experimenting with some of it. And it's the proverbial, you pull on the thread of the sweater and there it is underneath. And so for me, it was kind of a slow movement into functional medicine, into holistic healing. And that's the short version of that story. So I didn't really choose it. Luckily, the universe chose me.
And what have you seen in the changes with your patients and using this approach as opposed to the traditional pill for every ill?
Huge changes. I mean, things that we were taught in conventional medicine that you just have to deal with the rest of your life. That's what I was taught, and that's what I was telling people. I was kind of propagating the lie, so to speak. But once you really start digging into functional medicine, you can find out that so many things are reversible. For instance, diabetes, that's my favorite one to talk about, because diabetes, and I looked up the statistic, 11% of LA people have diabetes. And diabetes type 2 is fully reversible. Wow. There's no reason for anyone to have diabetes.
I had no idea.
Wow, really? Right?
It's so simple. It is. It's simple as far as the methodology, as far as doing it, not so simple, and that's where our hope comes in, right? You have to give someone hope that you can reverse your diabetes. You can do this. I'm going to lay out the plan. My nutritionist is going to help you implement that plan. My health coach is going to help you. But this is reversible. This is easily tackleable.
Right.
Wow.
You know that something is doctors are referring to the universe. That's what I gotta say.
Absolutely.
My father's my homeopathic doctor, but you are officially my Western medicine doctor. I'm sold. I love it. It's so awesome. And we want to give a big shout out to Amanda Russell. She's been part of our family here. We love her, and we know you work with her as well. So
yeah, she's awesome.
So wonderful.
She's a powerhouse.
So how can people work with you?
So they're going to call my office. My phone number is 512-829-1104. I've got a website presence, oobmedical.com. I'm all over YouTube and Facebook. So if you ever want to hear me talk for hours, just pull that up.
And they do like blood work, because like for my father, they can do blood work in any city. They can send it to you, and like through Corp or something like that. Do you work with people from afar like that?
So it's because I'm a medical doctor, I'm licensed by Texas, so I can't technically practice outside of Texas. So the general rule is patients have to come to me for the first visit, and then once we establish our physical doctor-patient relationship, then we do everything else online via, we use Zoom, which is basically like a FaceTime.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, we get people's labs drawn, we can send them kits. So pretty much nowadays with technology, it's awesome. I mean, I can do almost everything outside of the town that I can inside the town. We've got Zoom, I can pull up my iPad and I can go over the labs in real time. I can write on it, circle it, and they can actually view the labs as if we're sitting side by side. And it's not the same as in-person connection, that kind of energy that's exchanged in person, but it's about as good as you can get.
Yeah, well, hopeful, holistic healthcare, definitely worth the airfare.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you guys.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow. Good morning, La La Land.
A long time, your new single, produced by Pooh Bear.
Yes.
Works with the bees. Yes. I know this is massive.
It is, yeah. I was so amazed because I actually wrote a song about Justin Bieber in my previous album, and suddenly, you know, Pooh Bear comes along and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I gotta meet Justin. This is like, this is fate, this is destiny right here. So yeah, it was an amazing experience working with him. He's super talented, he's so humble, he's so down to earth, and it was just a blast working with him. You know, I'm living the best life. I have great parents, I have such good friends, I have a dream, you know, I have my music, I have my friends, so I think I'm really happy.
Welcome back to Purpose. I am your host, Brittany Zonker. I am flying with Andrew Seeley, the acro yoga instructor. This is insane, guys. I've been like this for like 3 minutes.
Yep,
it doesn't. Out. Yeah, I'm just hanging out.
It feels like you should do this every day to me.
You can set up some sessions.
This feels amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, if you want to train with Andrew Seeley, all you have to do is look him up on Instagram. He is absolutely incredible. I've had an amazing time interviewing Mr. Seeley today. He teaches all over the world. He will help your body, mind, and your soul find your purpose. For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
I mean, you have been a host and much more than that for many, many years. Any tips you can give us?
You start early in the morning here, so as long as you have somebody who like picks up the speed for you, it's kind of like any relationship, right? Like someone has to have your back. Like if they know, like you're not knowing where the next camera is, the next question, you know, as long as you're in tune with each other. But I think your show is incredible, and I'm so thrilled that I could be a part of it today. But more than that, it is about saying, hey, you know what, we need to impact change. What is the one little way in our own world that we can impact change? And whether it's you guys interviewing certain people, bringing awareness to topics, this is what needs to happen, because we've all woken up and we know, we know what the future is if we keep going down this path.
I know that the calling and the purpose is so much greater than me trying to get my hair right, to go to the red carpet and whatever. I got to keep up because the purpose is so great.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome Ari Rose to the show. Hashtag sip and slay. You are slaying all day, girl. Thank you.
You're
so
on brand
beautiful.
with your rose. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
It's the perfect time to have this conversation because I have to admit I'm fighting the funk right now.
Are you?
Yes. I love that you created this book. Tell us about it. It includes apparently a reality check, which I'm sure my mother's going to say I need. Slay habits to cultivate, journal entries, and love and light.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Full of lots of love and light. I wrote this book when I was going through a funk myself. And I had no option but to figure out how to fight it. And I figured the best way to fight my funk was to teach other people how to fight their funk. So I went through this process. It was supposed to be an 8-page PDF. And I just kept typing and I kept typing and the words kept flowing, and I wrote this entire book in less than 2 weeks. And it went #1 on Amazon on the first week that it was released.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just about fighting the funk. I think, like you were saying earlier, you were talking about how depression and how many people have depression. And I don't like to label funk as a depression, but there's different levels of depression, like you said. You don't know how deep you were in the depression phase. And I think in life there's a lot of things that happen to us that put us in funks. Like you lose a job, you get laid off, your boyfriend breaks up with you, you've been single for another year, another Christmas alone. There's always that something that makes you like, ugh. So this book I wrote to kind of, it's not so much a depression, but it's just like, what now?
So walk us through it. I'm in a funk, I'm depressed that I need to go seek help professionally, but need to pick up a book or do whatever. What do you tell them?
I tell them the first thing is you have to have that reality check. Like, okay, is there something more that you can be doing? Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's look in the mirror. Are you waking up early? Are you going to bed early? Are you creating good habits? Are you working out to really get your motivation? Are you eating healthier? Because, you know, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good, right? That's like the motto that people say. So I always say, give yourself a reality check. Are you hanging around the right people? Is your circle uplifting you? Are you dating somebody who is adding to your soul, to your life? Or are you hanging out with soul suckers? So that's always going to be the first thing. It's like, okay, I realize I'm in a funk. Why am I here? And what do I need to do to get out of this funk? So it's literally doing a step-by-step reality check as to, can I do more? Like, let's be honest. If we're still here, it's for a reason. And most of the time, it's because we're not doing something, you know?
So when you were in a funk, you looked in that mirror, what did you do to change it?
Well, I'm a single mom, so that was like my main kind of kick in the butt, was like, okay, you still got to provide, so you need to get up, you need to really kick this funk. But I had to realize that not everything when it happens to you is the end of the world, right?
Oh, it sure feels like it though.
It does.
Oh my gosh.
Love to catastrophize, huh?
Yeah, and I wrote this book when I got laid off. I back to school, and I got the dream job of my life. I was an on-air host, just like you guys, and doing production and doing everything. And one day I walk in and they're just like, Ari, the network has gone bankrupt. You're out of work. And I walked out and I remember thinking like, woe is me. Why? This is all I ever wanted. This is like my dream. I finally got it. And then I'm like, all right, you got to snap out of it, because you feeling like a victim isn't going to make you successful. So I allowed myself a little bit of time, and I always tell people, and especially in this book I highlight, it's like, it's okay to be in a funk. It's just not okay to stay in the funk.
Great point, great point. And I think it's also like, you know, speaking of the identity shift, you know, like if your identity and your happiness is built on whatever relationship you're in, or whatever, you know, your accolades of your career, or how great your, you know, hair's looking that day, or whatever, like it's not sustainable, and for sure you're gonna go into a funk, because life just doesn't work like that, right? I mean, so how did your own identity shift, how did you shift out of that space of like, okay, I'm not my career, I'm not this status. How did you make that shift?
You know, it took me a while, because for me, my career is my life. You know, my career, I always feel like if my career is booming, then I have self-validation. And what I've had to do is shift my mind to realize, hey, maybe I've already reached the top of this peak. I feel like every incident in life or everything we go through is a new mountain. So maybe I've already reached this. Maybe I haven't failed short, maybe I've fallen short, maybe I haven't failed. Maybe I'm just done and I'm ready to climb the next mountain. So instead of thinking my life is over, this is as best it's gonna get, I'm never gonna find a man that treats me like this again, it's like, no, I've reached this, God has trained me, I'm prepared for what's next. So let me just say thank you for whatever I've learned in my lessons, and let me move on to what's next.
So great.
It is great. So as you've practiced this sort of process over and over again, have you found that it's become easier and a little bit more effortless to sort of pivot or to defunk yourself when you find yourself in a funk?
No, because I feel like when you're, yes, in a sense, because you've kind of done it already, and so you know it's going to be okay. You know, I'm very spiritual, so I feel like the same God that got me through the last part is going to get me through this one too. But when you're in that funk, it's still kind of like, ugh, here I am again.
Speaking of, you have like the eye, right?
Yeah.
So to tell us what that represents for you.
You know, just to keep negative energy. I'm Latina, and that's part of our culture, and I know it's part of a lot of cultures. So my mom always says have an eye in front, so it catches all the bad vibes, all the negative, you know, whatever it is around. And then she got me 2 eyeballs on the back of my neck. So she's always like, you always need double the protection on the back.
Literally looking out for you.
I love that. Well, you host some incredible events, and we'd love to promote the community. Tell us about Sip and Slay.
All right, so Sip and Slay was basically my way. When I released the book, I started getting a lot of DMs and messages from women saying it was helping and they would love to meet me. So I figured, okay, I'm gonna try to put together a little book tour for myself. So in order to fund it, to self-fund myself, I started selling tickets and bringing panelists from every city. So this weekend, actually, it's going to be in the Bronx, New York.
Wow.
I leave tomorrow to New York. We're almost sold out. We have like 6 tickets left.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. We do vendors. We have a day of food, Sip and Slay. We teach each other. We motivate all women. And this is my 11th event that's been sold out.
Wow.
University will sell out this weekend.
We need this. This is the biggest move I've seen is women and men want to come offline. They want to come together and have more.
People are lonely.
We're seeing events everywhere. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So so that's my Sip and Slay. And you know what's funny that you say that is because it started as a woman thing because I wanted to just kind of, the book here is for men and women. I never wrote it with an intention. It's just the book tour, the Sip and Slay events, they just happen to bring a lot of women together. And now it's like there's a lot of men buying tickets, which is super welcoming. It's not just for women, but I'm like, okay, man, I need to shift it a little bit for 2019 and incorporate men and women and more panelists.
Hey, men can slay all day too.
For sure.
That's right, Jess. Love it.
Well, next time you're on the West Coast, we'll have to come do some slipping and slaying.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. Tell everyone where they can find and follow you.
So you guys can follow me on Instagram, my website, Twitter. Everything's all the same. It's at I am Ari Rose. And then you can also look up #Sip and Slay to see all the events that have gone that have happened this year and all the ones that are coming up. You can see the flyers, the response, the videos, and just all the amazing traction that
And
we
you
get.
can get this book on Amazon.
Yes, it's on Amazon Prime too, so it'll ship for free overnight.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more
you.
Good Morning LaLaLand. Over.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning into This Week in Focus. I'm your associate producer of the Focus TV network, which is America's first video streaming talk show network, but you already knew that. And I got my girl with me,
Jez Moye, co-host of Good Morning LaLaLand.
So last week on the Focus TV network, we had the Renwood Show. On Purpose with Brittany Zonker, we had
the incredible actor Reggie Watkins.
On the LA Home Show with our host Natasha Phillips
was broker extraordinaire Amy Kane.
Yes. On Eyes Up Here with Lindsay Palis, we had
the actress Shai Fontanette.
On Naked Chats with Josh Murray, we had
Sheena Marie from Vanderpump Rules.
Yes, we're also so excited to announce the newest issue of Focus magazine.
And we are lovingly calling it the Romance Issue. We're proud to feature Ms. Tosca Musk on the cover, along with Focus TV family official.
Yes,
and
our guy,
Lori Harder.
So, speaking of Rob Mack, co-host of Good Morning LaLaLand, Jeslyn Moye, there was a very busy week at Good Morning LaLaLand. Who was on the show?
It was a great week in LaLaLand. On the show, we had 2-time Emmy Award-winning producer and actor Eddie Perez.
Yes.
We also had dating expert Laurel House.
What?
She co-hosts the #Man Whisperer with Rob Mack.
With Rob Mack.
We were really excited to talk tennis with Carrie Lynn. And all the way from Orange County, Rachel Savoda.
Wes Gear was actually here repping his Rock to Recovery event.
And Focus TV with Good Morning LaLaLand was on the red carpet to promote Rock to Recovery 3. We talked to Drew Carey, Jeremy Jackson, Kira Reed-Lorsch was there. Let's take a look at the concert.
Let me hear you say, hell yeah! Say, hell yeah! Ready for the F-bomb? Say, fuck yeah! Now scream! I love you guys. Let's do this.
So much fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning into This Week in Focus. I'm Victoria Simone.
And I'm Jessica Moye. Don't miss the new issue of Focus magazine. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome to the show Matt Miller. He is the founder of Miller Healer. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
P.S. We got to give a shout out to that ring. I mean, come on.
Oh, nice. Look at that ring. Wow. CBD is treating you well.
This is from the skateboarding world.
Well, they're both good, you know.
Exactly.
They roll with both of them.
I find your story so interesting. Tell us about your journey from skateboarding to founding the CBD company.
Yeah, basically, you know, I've been in skateboarding my whole life. Had a very nice career, super blessed to have that. And
You've got the Super Bowl ring of it.
Yeah, basically, you know, definitely achieved all my goals in the skate world. And I started to get older, basically still falling every day, still hurting myself. And my business partner now that I've known forever, she's just like, what do you do for pain? And I'm like, nothing at all. I'm all natural, all organic. I just took ice baths, basically. And so we formulated this brand that we spent over a year making it right, and me basically testing it in the pain world.
But it's so interesting to live in chronic pain and to become accustomed to that like that pain, right? That becomes your constant. What is it like to live not in pain and to be able to do it naturally?
It's like, I wish I found this when I was younger, because it's so night and day difference for me, because like I said, I'm older, and sometimes I would have an 8-hour session where I'm literally just fighting concrete the whole time. And I wake up and I can't walk for almost a day or two. So now I'm like constantly on my regiments, and I can still have that same 8-hour battle, but now I can skate the next day. It might not be like 100%, but I'm like 85%.
Like, so many people out there are hopeless because of their pain. And I know that there's a chronic pain there. People they literally don't want to live because they're in so much pain. So the CBD has been transformative in the realm of pain, dealing with pain for all different issues for people and whatever it is. That's incredible. So how does it, do you know any of the scientific backing? I would imagine it kind of almost puts the system in a parasympathetic type of a thing where you go into that rejuvenation and are able to heal. Is that, I'm not, a scientist in the realm of CBD, but I would imagine that that's partly what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, basically it's just, the first thing people think is like, oh, it's going to get you high, which is not the case. CBD it's a whole different cold press system, basically deriving everything out. And yeah, it's just a different part of the plant, so it's hard to explain, but because I'm not like the scientific guy on it, but
it says CBD oil is derived from the flowers, leaves, and stalk of the industrial hemp plant, known for highly therapeutic effects. So basically, it's not affecting the psyche, right?
Yeah, no psycho part, like non-psychoactive, basically. There's zero of that. Our company is 100% lab tested. And you do have to be careful, because what I've learned having this brand is there's a lot of stuff out there that say that, oh, it's no THC or whatever, have it,
Oh, really?
So
Wow.
that's why we started this brand. We have our retail stores called Healthy Solution Wellness Boutique, and it's not a dispensary, it's a boutique with medical specialists that come in there.
That's good to know, because I've only tried the topical stuff. I've never even taken any of the internal, because I'm afraid of that. Like, I'm afraid, like, I don't know, like, how do I know it's not going to affect me like that or whatever?
So we have all lab tests. Every batch is lab tested, so it's top quality, and you just got to make sure you get the right stuff, and it does wonders. Like, every single person that has tried this or put it on, and professional athletes, my friends, they're all just every day like, hey, where's my salve stick? Like, I need it. I'm going to Australia tomorrow. Like,
awesome.
So what does your regimen consist of? Is that what you brought here?
Yeah, pretty much this whole thing. Every night I take this oil, which is 30 minutes before bed. It's 1,000 milligrams, and that's overall wellness, basically.
It's a dropper, so what do? You put it in water?
Yeah, it's a dropper, and you put it under your tongue for 20 seconds and then swallow it, and it's the fastest way to get it into your system, basically. And all these are different ways to take it, but this salve stick right here is my favorite thing, because I skateboard, and any bumps or bruises, pain, wake up from sleeping wrong, whatever it is, any type of pain, you rub this thing on, and it's like, takes the pain from a 10
I got a little shoulder tweak right now. I can take that off your hands, brother.
Take it, man.
Yeah, that looks great.
No, but
so awesome. And what about these gummies? Do you eat the whole pack, or you have just one?
Jess is ready. That's the thing, is nothing can hurt you. You can't take too much. So
And I'm not going to get high.
No, you're not going to get high. All this is, it's basically for low pain and anxiety. So if you're ever, you know, we all have anxiety basically at some points, and if you're ever feeling it, nervous, whatever it is, you eat one.
First
you could
date gummies,
Yeah.
audition
First
gummies.
date.
I mean, I feel like we could really brand this. I will say this, you know, your company was so great and generous in delivering some of these products to us just about a week ago. And I have been taking this oil every night.
Mm-hmm.
I have slept through the night. And I haven't slept through the night in years.
I know.
Really, truly. I wake up, I feel fantastic. I'm not groggy. I don't feel like I have a hangover at all. It's truly transformed my sleeping. I couldn't believe it.
I know, it's crazy. It's so new too that people just don't know. So we're all about education and letting people know that. And then once they figure it out, once they use it, we give out samples to everyone. Then they're just on board and they're like, whoa, what the heck?
So I keep this bedside and gummies in my purse.
There you go.
I've got a new program.
Tell people where they can find you and where they can buy the products.
Well, basically it's millerhealer.com and Miller Healer social media, and my personal one is Matt Miller Skate. If you want to check
Hard
out
to
some
remember.
skateboarding.
I don't know if we remember
I
that
know,
one.
right?
But,
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Awesome
Such a pleasure,
work.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys.
I'm gonna
You guys
have
are awesome.
some of this oil right now.
Stay
Stay tuned.
tuned.
We're back with more Good Morning La La Land.
Roll.
Drum roll, please. Part of the Focus TV family. Ms. Kelly Gores is gracing the cover this month. She is the filmmaker behind the Heal documentary. We have a very special interview with Mr. Mark Teschner, Ellen Racketon, and of course some incredible people. We even have a special video about it as well. It's very near and dear to my heart because this issue I actually was the managing editor.
You did so much work,
Jessamine.
Jazz.
Yeah,
Big
thank
shout out to
you.
Andy and you and everyone that has been involved for sure.
Thank you, Andy, for the opportunity to be such an active part in this community.
Speaking of empowerment, Jeslyn, you crushed it.
Right?
Wow,
Boy.
thank you, Rob.
You are a power player, girl.
I really appreciate that. I couldn't do it without the both of you. You are my enlightenment. You are my life school every morning. So thank you for letting me be a part of your community.
So for people that haven't seen the documentary, let's just give them a little overview of what is the documentary. We're going to show the trailer in a minute, but from your perspective, tell them a little bit about it.
Yes, so the film is basically showing people how incredible the body is and how we're designed to heal, and how big of an impact our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions have on our physical body. So as you guys were mentioning before, those 9 healing essentials that people, tapped into, only 2 of them are physical. The rest were mental, emotional, and spiritual. So that I look at as kind of the ratio for what you need. If you want to heal physically, you really need to bring in the emotional and mental factors. And we see it in the placebo effect, how what you believe affects your biochemistry and your physiology. So belief and the mind-body connection is very powerful.
Good morning, La La Land, and we have the huge honor of being with Lillian Garcia.
Oh my God.
This month, gracing the cover of the Influence issue
Look at
of
that.
Focus magazine. Thank you so much
God.
for being
It's a beautiful
here.
picture.
So gorgeous.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is really crazy. I mean,
It's beautiful.
you guys
picture.
have no idea what this means to me.
It does?
Yeah,
Aw.
it does. I tear up like so easy sometimes, but no, this is great. Thank you.
Of course, is the cover. Gorgeous.
Oh my God,
gorgeous
that
cover.
is so awesome.
And we have a little surprise for you, which is your article within the magazine.
This is
and
so
cover.
amazing. Holy moly, what is
The
going
real
on? Oh my
biggie.
God.
Oh,
Yes. When I'm out of town, I will leave that for my husband.
I'll bring her in. Oh, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited today to be talking about hopelessness and having hope. And this woman right here does so much more than that. She is a life purpose cheerleader. Amber Valdez, we love you.
We do.
Oh, I love you guys. This is so cool to be on the couch. I feel so important. I'm usually cheering on the tribe from the sidelines, counting you guys in like a crazy person.
I feel like we should cue that I Found Myself a Cheerleader song. We had the guy that wrote it on last week, Carl Wells.
Did you really?
We did.
Man.
He is great.
But I think your story is so inspiring because, I mean, from the sidelines to really cheering on from the sidelines in people's lives. Tell us a bit about your journey.
So grew up really just realizing I didn't have a cheerleader. I grew up in a super emotionally, mentally, and verbally abusive home, and learned really quickly that I could manifest, but I didn't really know it was manifesting. If I just said I was going to do things, it ended up happening. And then really learning how to be my own cheerleader, and then of course moving to high school, being a cheerleader, and would literally have like a sad face and then turn around and put on the smile. And it wasn't until cheering in the NFL and then moving on into self-development, being in LA, being in the TV world for a while, and losing my dad, going through a really gnarly relationship with a sex addict, that I had my like dark night of the soul. And it was from that space that I really realized why I was here, which is to be the cheerleader for others that I never had. And teaching others to be their own inner cheerleader, and so they can do whatever
You
they
work
like.
with light workers. So tell us, and I mean, of course, we work with a lot of people that I know that are just, they're spreading light on so many levels across the globe. Tell people what that means. What does it mean to be a light worker?
Well, I have a quiz for that,
Oh.
but I don't want to give it all away. But being a light worker to me it's so much bigger than you. Like, you have this fire in your heart and your soul, and you literally get high, like I do, seeing other people win, like seeing other people win in this game called life. And you have like so much compassion and so much empathy, and you just want to help the world. A blessing and a curse, right? But a light worker is really clear that they're here to make a bigger impact for something other than their own personal gain. So, and they need the most cheering, because oftentimes light workers, I find, get really gnarly cards dealt to them as kids, and then it's through that process of really learning how to be your own inner cheerleader and getting surrounded by other light workers that can cheer you on to live your purpose and get paid for your gifts. So.
We love your energy. We love you.
Thank you.
What would you recommend for people that who want to become their own inner cheerleader? Like, what tips would you have? Because I think that's one of the things that people struggle with a lot, and especially if they've had anything close to the kind of childhood you had. It seems like an impossible feat.
Right. Definitely learning. I think we talked about it before on yesterday's show, just really learning about the power of language and how you speak out loud, the words we speak, the thoughts we think, the Abraham Hicks, we love her.
Yes.
But it's not a joke, and getting told you can't or there's not enough, which was like the norm in my family, having to really reaffirm, rewire, reprogram those beliefs and affirm them, even if you don't really believe them quite yet. Just like with anything, it takes practice. And so being super mindful of your languaging is for one, game changer. The get tos, instead of the have tos, and I am, and I can, and I will, instead of maybe or hope, wish, want, try, So I focus a lot with my students and my clients on the power of language. That is first, because if you're talking to yourself like a bad fan in the stands, imagine if the cheerleaders were booing the guys on the field.
Right.
Like, energy is contagious, and that means you get to start with yourself. I love affirmations. I wrote a best-selling ebook, Sticky Affirmations to Live Your Purpose, and I'm obsessed with Post-its. And so anyone who knows me or my clients, there's sticky affirmations everywhere. In the house, in the car, anything you can do to have these little mini billboards to really rewire, what we see, what we listen to. That's why your show is so awesome, right?
I think it's so important to be a cheerleader for yourself, but how can we be better cheerleaders for the people close to us?
Yeah, everybody needs a cheerleader. And it was interesting, it was just in Denver at Danette May's event, and a lot of the speakers are dear friends of mine, and no matter how high you get up in your business or in your career, how much money you make, we always need someone to tell us it's possible. And I think it only takes one person to believe in your dream, you, and if you can have another, like, that's a bonus. So I think affirming people and how worthy they are, and reminding people that they matter and they're worthy and their purpose matters, and that you see them, and how can I support you, and really just be that one person in life that can see their light. Because oftentimes we forget.
Right.
Sorry.
No.
We had this retreat few weeks back up in the hills, and one of the things we went through is we went around and everyone told one of the girls what they thought their genius was. And the whole group of women would just tell this one woman everything, how great she was, and all the things they felt was her greatest gifts. And it was this beautiful thing. Everyone was in tears, and it was an amazing thing. I think we don't do that enough. We don't acknowledge how amazing people are. And everyone is so amazing. Everyone has these great gifts, and you are a genius at doing that. I've never witnessed at all, because we're around a lot of women in LA that were kind of like in these circles, and you are that cheerleader. You literally are that cheerleader. You're always like rooting on everyone. You're going, even if it's your event or not, you're always like supporting, and it's really inspiring. Really inspiring, and that is truly, you have so much good, but your heart is like huge.
Thank you, Erin. I received that.
Yeah.
And the power of acknowledgement is everything. Oftentimes everyone's telling us from the time we're little what we're doing wrong, right? Or what we need to improve on. But to have someone in your life that's just like, I see you, you're amazing, and that vibration, I see you, girl. I see your light, and I see your light. But when we see it in others, we can see it in ourselves. And that's really when we're acknowledging or giving affirmations to another, we're really giving it to our soul.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you ever get pushback from clients and who want to hear the negative stuff? Because I do. And I say, oh, you've hired the wrong person. I don't do that. That's not my work, you know.
You never give them feedback? That's
I
like
give them feedback,
maybe
but I
not
don't give them negative feedback. I give them, and because my entire philosophy is double down on your strengths. It's not to shore up weaknesses all day. We can do that all day, right?
Yeah.
But, so when you get when you get feedback though, or when people ask you or solicit feedback from you, how do you respond? How do you continue to be the cheerleader that you are while giving them what they want or what they need?
I do like a feedback sandwich.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
you affirm, you awesome, and what about this? And then affirm again. So the feedback sandwich usually goes a long way. But I believe that like you get to love people enough to be honest with them and then respect them enough that they can handle it. And I often say like, look, I'll be that cheerleader and the Zen cheerleader and namasteing with you all day, but sometimes I give you a pom-pom smack in the face because I think the ego is really relentless sometimes. The pom-pom love smack. I'm like, all right, I'm coming at you. This might sting a little.
I love that.
I'm sending all my clients that needs pom-pom slapped to you. Yeah.
I think you guys might have a retreat here.
yeah.
Strengths and the pom-pom.
Let's do it.
I see the whole vision.
Tell everyone where they can find and follow you.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love it. LifePurposeCheerleader.com, Life Purpose Cheerleader on Instagram, Life Purpose Cheerleader on Facebook, and if they want to take the Are You a Lightworker quiz, they can do that too, going to bit.ly/lightworkerquiz. And find out if you're a light worker, and if you are, I got some things, I got some tools to support you.
Awesome.
And some pom-poms. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Good Morning La La Land.
All right, welcome back. We had such a fantastic show today.
You're such a natural.
Thanks for having. I'm so glad I got to sit here on this couch with you guys. Do you guys enjoy the show?
We did enjoy the show very much.
The
Did you enjoy
universe handed you that mic for a reason.
Exactly.
It's meant to bring us in.
That's right.
So today's all about hope, and we just do want to take a moment just to acknowledge anyone out there that is feeling a little hopeless. That most of us have been there, but there are answers. So for sure. So for the three of you guys, what would you say has brought you the most hope in your life?
Yes. Oh, I'm mic'd up. I'm good. What has brought me the most hope in my life is surrounding myself with a cheer squad. Not being the biggest fish in my pond and really putting myself out there to be surrounded by a team of cheerleaders that see me, that believe in me, and affirm me, and also call me up to a bigger game and remind me that I matter and I can do it too, because they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard question, but no, I'm just kidding. It's basically just being humble, being a good person, being grounded, all that everything that I grew up with, basically just trying to be a good person, all that. Like, you just got to have some type of end, not goal, but like it's a never-ending goal step, basically. So, you know, when someone asks me, where are you going to be in 5 years? I have no idea, because there's so much going on, and I see every door as an opening, and
awesome.
Just staying positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it, brother.
Cool.
And for me, it's definitely my spiritual foundation. I feel like as long as I keep feeding myself and my foundation with motivation, positivity, spirituality, no matter how life gets, how hard the storm comes, I might bend, but I won't break.
Amen.
Yes.
I won't break. We are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, Monday through Friday live at 9 a.m. You can also listen to your favorite interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. Please like, share, and comment. Subscribe. We're waking up the world together. Please support the people that you love. Extraordinary people.
That's right.
Have a great day.
Keep hope alive.
Sip and slay. Woo!